Hi guys, thank you for coming back for another video. But in this video today, we will be dyeing some custom yarn, and I'm pretty sure it's okay to color out. It's for Stitched Sappho. She has ordered a custom yarn, and it is based off of this bird. I'm going to put it right there. I don't remember what the name of the bird is, but if she said, I will put the name of that as well. But she wants her yarn to be patterned after this bird, and this is gorgeous, and I cannot wait to do this. It's going to be amazing. So we're going to have some total browns on one end, and then we're going to have my goal. I've never done this before either, and this would be very interesting. She wants that shade of blue to have white little, not speckles, but little spots, dots, little tiny areas of white within the blue. You know, I've put colors on white with a white background, but this time it'll be the opposite. I'll be having little white areas coming, you know, from the colored background. So this will be an interesting, fun thing to do, and I can't wait to see how this both hanks up and works up. Of course, we'll have to wait for Sappho to find out how it works up. So let's get started on this custom dye. Okay, so like always, I begin with salt water, anodized plain salt that has been sitting for at least 24 hours, and I'm probably going to need a little bit more. That should be plenty. This is not butter. This is soda ash. Add about 4 or 5 grams soda ash. And I apologize, I forgot to turn the light on. Okay, so I have 2 hanks of fingering weight cotton. I'm going to put the tie wraps on them and get them soaking in the saline solution. And I will let them sit for an undetermined amount of time. It doesn't really matter how long, just as long as they're good and saturated. That's a perfect amount. And I will also use this water to make the dye. Okay, we'll come back in a couple minutes and start dyeing them. So looking closely at this picture, it looks as if there's some darker blue, and then there's also, like, it almost looks as if the blues have bled into some of the white areas, which happens frequently in yarn, and gave it some lighter blues. So I'm thinking that there is a chance we may wind up with some areas like that by accident. what I plan on doing is I'm going to try this deep blue. I'm going to shoot for that color. And I'm going to try to get some white areas. And I told her that it's difficult to get white. It's not as difficult to get white on wool and cotton as it is acrylic, but it is somewhat difficult. But I'm going to try to get as much white as I can mixed in with this blue. But we may wind up having little areas where it's lighter color, where it's supposed to have been white, but it's a lighter blue. And if all of it's like that, that would still look true to picture. Although I do want to try to get some white. And then I'm going to do half of it like that. And on the other half is where I will have these darker browns. I have this dark brown, not really dark, it's like a medium dark brown. And then like a dark tan. And then like a little bit of a beige. But it'll be in a gradient because it starts darker up here, it gets a little lighter. And there's just a little tiny bit of the tan back here. So we're going to try to make it kind of gradient like that is. So I'm going to start off with about 50 milliliters of the saline water, the soda ash with the salt water. And I'm thinking that this teal blue is maybe what I'm looking for. I've used it before thinking that it would be teal, and I remember it being more on the blue side. So I'm going to try, that's probably about 1/4 of a gram in there. So I'm going to try that just to get an idea of what kind of color we get from this. If this isn't the right color, then I will simply try a different one. If it's the right color, I'll make more of it. That is kind of looking really close to what I'm looking for there. See that? Make sure I get it all dissolved. And I usually test it out on a paper towel. It isn't always the most perfect way of doing it because it's not the same, but you get a rough idea. I'm trying to see how that's, yeah, that's showing up. True to color there. Let me dip it a little bit more. It's breaking a little bit into green there at the bottom, but wow, that looks about right to me. I'm actually surprised I would get it on the first try. But I remember using this color once before thinking that it would be teal, but it's teal blue, so that means it's a little bit more on the bluer side. I see no teal at all in this, honestly. But I do remember this color. So I believe we have our color right here. So I'm going to mix up the browns and then we'll get started. Okay, so I've decided to go ahead and mix up the browns with you, or do it on video. Oh. Okay, so I have 200 milliliters in this one. And these other two are about 50. This will be the dark brown. This will be actually medium dark. I have a darker, but I'm going to use the one that's labeled dark brown. And I'm only going to use about 0.5%. It's not really a dark brown, but I think with 0.5% it'll be the color that I want this to be. And then I'll do camel, which is like a tan color. And then this one I'll do ivory. which will be like the cream color in there. So 200 milliliters, a half of a gram would be 0.5%. I think this will give me the color I'm looking for. If not, I'll just add another half. And yes, I will test this. I think that's got it. Nice. Okay, so this one here will be the camel, which is a light brown. And it's only about 50 milliliters, so I'm going to put a fourth of a gram in here. And I already know what this looks like because I use this in Cozy Fox colorway, and I've made so many of these. I already know that this is exactly the color that I want, so I'm not going to bother testing that. And I've also used ivory. I think I might just go with about maybe 1/8 of a gram because it has a slight yellowish color if you make it too. It actually reminds me of vanilla ice cream. So I'm not going to go real heavy on the ivory. Just a teeny tiny little bit, itty bitty. Because I don't want yellow. But you know how ice cream has a slight hint of yellow. Vanilla ice cream has a slight hint of yellow. That's how this is. And I think I will find a little corner from here to dip in just to see what this looks like. It's kind of hard to see. But I think that's got it though. That looks, actually does have a slight hint of yellow on the camera. It's not really a yellow. I think that'll be perfect. Let me answer this phone call. Okay, so I'm gonna start. I hope you can see. Well, somewhat. I'm actually gonna use a paintbrush because I want to be kind of picky about this. Let's see how this does. Okay, it's not very picky. Alright, paintbrush is not going to work. Probably should have used a smaller, of course you can't see. Hold on. Let me, can't see man, sorry. Okay, I'm gonna do this. Just gonna kind of put a couple blotches here and there. Then I'll go back in and fill in. I'm gonna see how far it spreads first. That's something else this dye does. I wring out as much water as I could. I didn't, you know, I didn't want it too wet, because that affects how much it soaks through also. But I'm thinking if I kind of make areas and then just kind of fill it in. I'm going to do half in this blue, and then down there I'll do the gradient brown. I'm going to make some splotches like this. First. I think I'll go ahead and do it, speed up the video so that you don't have to wait too long. So I decided to go a little more than half. I went about 2/3. Okay, so now I'm going to kind of fill it in. I'm going to be a little bit more picky now and see if I can fill this in and make it as small as areas as I can of white. Before I go any further with the brown, I'm going to flip this over and do some more of this blue, because I might have to spread it out a little bit to get down in the layers underneath. So I'm going to go ahead and flip this over and make sure I don't have too much white, but I want some, just not too much. I can basically fill in like I did on the other side, on this side. I don't have to do big splotches. I'll put you on time lapse again. Dark brown, and I'm just going to use my fingers because I don't feel like grabbing gloves. Give it a fading effect. Okay. A little bit of the camel. do believe these are ready for the oven now. So I will come back once that part is done. So here we are at a process that you guys don't really get to see very often. So I thought it would be nice to let you watch me rinse these out. I love how this turned out. Not too much white. There's little specks of white, mostly this beautiful shade of blue. So let's rinse this out. And actually it has been sitting overnight in the oven. I turned it off after 50 minutes. I turned it off and then just let it sit, and I just took it out. So I always start with cold water first. You guys get to see how much bleeds. Some yarns, some colors bleed a lot, some hardly at all. And now the wool colors I do, some of those don't bleed at all. It's like I rinse it, there's nothing. I use soap and hot water, nothing. You know, it's like, usually the soap at least will make it bleed. So there you go. Give you an idea of how much it bleeds. Trying not to bump the camera, but it's inevitable. I've got you right over top of this, and I'm reaching around behind. Next time I wring this out, I'll do it off to the side so this can fill up while I'm wringing. So still sticking with the cold water. Look, you can really see the tan and the ivory. I love it. Love, love, love it. Sappho, this is going to be gorgeous. Can't wait to see what you make with this. Oh, it's so pretty. Okay, so I'm done with the cold water now. I usually rinse until there's barely a trace of color, because the hot water and the soap can take out the rest. So let me start hot water. Tiny bit. Wait a minute. I gotta put out the yarn first. It's already hot. Let me turn it off. It's quick back here. Alright, let me bring this out. tiny little bit of Tide. Yeah, this way. Oh, and that's a little more than two. Okay, I'll just put lots of water in it. And I'll let these sit for at least 15 minutes. Sometimes I'll go, 20, 30 minutes. I don't think it's going to need more than 15 though, because there's not a whole lot of bleeding. So I'll just come back in 15 minutes. We'll rinse it out and we'll go spin dry it. Okay, it's been probably about an hour actually. I went down a couple rabbit holes. So let's get this all rinsed out. Don't panic, that brown's not going to be green. It's just where it was sitting in the blue. See? There's the cream color back. Yep, just the blue water. See how much rinses out from the soap and the hot water? I rinse in cold. Soap first. Rinse out my tub, all that. Okay, so I've got the soap rinsed out. So now I'll just add a little bit of fabric softener. Teeny tiny bit. And it will stay here for about 5 minutes. 5 or 10 minutes. Just to soften it up a little bit. It's already soft, but this will make it softer. Next, we go to the spin dryer. Alright, so now I'm getting ready to run into the spin dryer. Pardon the lumber. We've been doing some little bit of renovating, removing, and remodeling kind of stuff here. So this is the spin dryer. I can't really show you where it's leaking because of, not leaking, but where it's draining. But yeah, send it through there. Then I'll take it inside and hang it up. And next video you see will be, it'll be dry. Yeah, in the morning. I'll show you the result in the morning. So this is what I've got dried. This is supposed to be a lot darker than this. I could re-dye it, I could, line up the sections and re-dye it, but she's only in the States for a few more days, so I need to just send it like it is. Everything else is perfect. I love the areas of white. It's not too washed out. Yeah, look at the other side. Isn't that gorgeous? I love the way this turned out, and I love this gradient too. It's supposed to be dark brown. I guess you could say the beige, the tan, and the cream. And there's actually some white down here as well. And here's how the other one looks in pink form. It's really pretty. I just wish this brown was darker, because the picture of the bird is much darker than that. But this is an absolutely gorgeous colorway here. I don't think she has a name for it, actually. But yeah, it's gorgeous. I love it. The blue and the browns look really good together. Good job, Sappho.
Can I have a piece of paper?
Gotta wait till I'm done. So thank you guys for hanging out with me while I'm dyeing this yarn, watching my videos, and supporting my channel. And I hope you guys enjoyed watching this as much as I enjoyed dyeing it. Hope everyone has a wonderful rest of your day, and may God bless you all. Goodbye.